Hello there. Good morning. My name is Bryan.
And I'm Bryan.
And this is Bryan versus Bryan, episode 51. Oh, I love it. Small title.
I'm so old.
3 letters. Don't get much better than these. Old. Like naming your movie.
Yeah, he's been doing that lately. Split. Glass. Yeah. Old.
Unbreakable.
Signs.
Yeah, I guess he is kind of a one word pony, isn't he? This airbender thing was just called The
Bender.
And then in parentheses, the last airbender. M. Night Shyamalan, old, 2021. Apparently July 23rd, it says right behind me. Went and checked it out in a theater, my first time back in a long time. I was just telling you off air, $51 experience with the tickets and not a lot of food. You got to have a popcorn and a soda. And then my wife doesn't like Coca-Cola, so she had to ruin my experience by getting us a root beer. To me, like a soda at a movie is a Coke or Pepsi, whatever they serve. But you got to have the cola with the popcorn, man. You can't have a fucking root. This ain't pizza day.
Yeah.
We got root beer over here. I was like, well, this is whack. At first she was like Sprite. I was like, don't you dare put Sprite in that cup. It's got to be something dark. At least root beer.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you're ruining the whole experience. You ever watch the beginning of the movie? They don't have a Sprite bubbling up and a roller coaster taking down a 3D track. It's a damn Coca-Cola. And popcorn's flying at you and shit. Like, come on. Anyway, that's my gripe about. I always have to do a Coke at the theater, and I was not able to do it. Very disappointed.
Yeah, somebody's got to I wish I was a fucking gajillionaire, because what I would do is I would come back to the Tri-Cities and I would turn the Uptown Theater back into a fucking theater and have $2 popcorns, maybe show some old movie, I don't know. Because you need one of those theaters. I think every city should have one of those, kind of a secondhand type of theater. We used to have the Metro 4 out in Columbia Center area. That was kind of our cheap theater that had the double features for $2.
They had that one by Chuck E. Cheese. Remember?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Metro 4.
The Uptown Theater signed a contract when they sold something about never being a theater again.
It sucks.
It sucks.
It's history there, man.
I think it's a church or something. But back to this movie and a very expensive experience I had. So where to start with this mofo?
So it's just Shyamalan, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, a little Shyamalan history.
If you're a fan or not.
I'm a pretty big fan ever since, what was that first one? Damn it. Sixth Sense. Ever since Sixth Sense, I was like, blew my mind. Back then, now that people weren't doing it. Now everyone does it. These twist endings and these weird perspectives. You'll watch the whole movie, but then you'll get a bit of information at the end. Kind of changes everything in the movie.
Yeah. But
that was the first time I had seen it. And it was such a good one. He's fucking dead? No.
Yeah, people forget. For those of you who weren't around then, or maybe just are not familiar with the movie, in 1999, when The Sixth Sense came out, it was a huge fucking deal. That movie was massive. Everyone told their friends about it. You have to go see it, and everyone kept their mouth shut. There wasn't spoilers back then. I mean, that movie made a fuck ton of money. I remember Sixth Sense being a massive kind of phenomenon. We haven't really seen anything like that in terms of a twist ending. Our older generations did with Psycho. Our grandparents grew up with a movie that was big like that had a twist.
Yeah.
But we hadn't. And so this kind of took the world by storm back in 99.
And there was a little portion of the movie that played before it with M. Night talking to the audience, welcoming us back to theaters. And it was okay. It was nice of him. I liked it. And I thought it was crazy when I've been making movies for 30 years. It's 30 fucking years this dude's been doing it. That's crazy.
The only reason I don't mind the message, I don't know. We've been going. This is kind of your first trip back in a while. We've been kind of going since theaters open since May, but this isn't the first time I've seen this. Like, there's been actors in front of movies, and I don't know. Yeah. Every time I see it, it becomes more desperate. It's like they're like, these Hollywood people are trying to get people in the movie theater is so great. Please keep coming. Thank you for coming. I don't know.
So this is exactly why I don't. Exactly why I don't do it. For $51, the movie had to kill for me to feel like I got my money's worth.
Yeah,
like $51, I could have bought the fucking 4K Blu-ray and a 12-pack of soda and a box of popcorn, for the same price. Probably had a little change left too. Actually, most definitely would have. So it's a strange proposition. The movie has to be so good to feel like I got the value. I mean, you could just go and get straight tickets and that would have made this $23, but what the hell? Why the hell am I in the theater for?
Yeah, it's funny because we typically do that. We'll do it's funny because there's a Dollar Tree like a block away from our theater. So we just hit that Dollar Tree up and then shove that. I ain't
putting these theaters out of business. They depend on me buying those Sour Patch Kids.
Hell no, I don't give a fuck. But we typically don't do that. Every now and again we'll get a popcorn or whatever. But we typically just either don't get anything at all or just sneak shit in. Unless it's the Hollywood. The Hollywood will buy it. People are
like staring at you, these fucking freaks. Sitting there with nothing. Got a can of soup they brought in.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh shit. There were 8 people in my theater, so it's hurting locally. But yeah, Shyamalan, I've been a pretty big fan. He's had a couple flops. You mentioned The Lady in the Water and Airbender. I even forgot he did those, so I've never seen
The Happening.
Those, so
Happening is fucking awful.
See, I thought The Happening was not as bad as people say. I don't think it's his worst movie anymore. I think that's probably Airbender.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt about The Village. I know Village people kind of slam it.
A lot of people hate on it. I thought that one was
pretty good. Yeah.
That was a pretty cool twist ending. A period piece. It ends up not being a period piece. I liked that one. But yeah, that's my kind of thoughts of him. I like him. I want to see him do well again. So I was like rooting for him. The trailer on this looks really cool, man. Now that you've seen it, you should probably go back and watch the trailer and then be like, yeah, the trailer makes it seem like really cool and suspenseful. Let's just get into the movie. It just fucking goes, damn it. Yeah, it kind of just throws you in, right? I think they're on the airplane.
They're on the bus.
They're in
a van on the way to the resort. Yeah,
they're driving to the resort, so they're already there. And right off the bat, there's things I love about this movie, and there's things I hate about this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And I hated like this kid's dynamic. She's singing the song that's on the radio, and mom's like, yes. And her mom's strange ass accent I hated. And I thought she was a terrible actress.
Yes,
sing it. It sounds so good or something. And then the kid just like, now I can't. And the other kid's like, her spontaneity has been ruined. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Off to a weird start from the get-go.
Like, this is awful weird. Have you seen a family, Shyamalan? The dynamic between them? Yes, I know families. I've had one. I love them. Like, he doesn't know. Then they get to the resort. They're welcomed, and also a really weird welcoming. Welcome to our version of paradise.
Yeah.
Like, why would you say that? Why wouldn't you just say paradise? Your version. Well, some might not consider it paradise. I don't know. And then they have like cocktails right off the bat, ready for them. I'm like, oh heck yeah. Based on your food and beverage choices, we prepared cocktails for you, and they sent the kids
based on your preference. I don't know what they based on, but they said something along those lines, like based on
your food and beverage preferences
or something.
Yeah, typically on like a chartered yacht, cruise ship, resorts like this, very expensive ones. They have you fill out like a thing. Like, I don't like chicken, or a whole thing. Or what kind of wines do you like, and what soda do you drink if you drink a soda, stuff like that. But then they send the kids off to the 24/7 candy bar. Why is this open 24/7? It's open all day. Why? You're crazy. Got my kids running around here on high C. So they're hanging out. It's a cool resort. There's all sorts of activities, jet skis. And, then the friendly, what would you call that guy? Maitre d'? Is that what they call them? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called either. Like the manager, the resort manager, I guess. Is that what you're talking about?
What do they call them in like the office? The concierge.
Yeah,
she's like a geisha. It's a concierge. Yeah. So he comes over and offers them this. Well, they're gonna go like jet skiing or something. And he's like, well, there's an amazing private beach. I don't offer it to everybody, but I like you. Okay, I offer it to you. Private beach. I take you there. Okay, no one, just private. And so, okay, sounds fun. And then they all mount up. And then there happens to be another family that gets told about it. And I can't remember who says something, but I think the doctor seems disappointed. Oh, I thought they said it was private.
Yeah. Just be for us. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 other people. So yeah, they go there. And of course, wouldn't you know it, Shyamalan's driving them. He's always putting himself in.
Yeah.
So he's the driver, gets him there. And then things start getting weird when he unpacks a shit ton of food, bunch of food.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is there so much food? Oh, you have kids. They need to eat. Yeah. It's only 3 of them. Oh, kids eat a lot. It's just
there's like 2 crates.
Big old tote. So and then we look at the food later and it's like, it's not even normal food packed in there. It's like fucking space seal bags, like MREs and stuff. So there's even more than would normally fit in that. So he's like, no, I can't help you all the way there. Just keep going through those rocks and you'll find it. I'll come back at 5 p.m. or when you call me, whichever comes first. Okay, see you later. So they go off to the beach. And then we meet Midsize Sedan, baby. A rapper named Midsize Sedan. So that shows you that Shyamalan is in touch with the youth.
So awful.
He doesn't know what's
one
up.
of the worst rapper names I've ever heard in my life.
It's like, that's what you came up with, man. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So he's there. But we had that little flashback before of him showing him and this kind of hot girl on the beach. And she goes in the water. And that's about all we saw.
Yeah.
And then they come and then he's alone. Nose is bleeding constantly. I was like, God dang, this is some Fright Street happening on this island.
Satanic shit.
So they hang out for a little bit. The first thing happens on the beach is they find her body, right? The kid's swimming, and then the body kind of drifts up, touches him. It's always how it happens, isn't it? There's a whole ocean for the body to be in, and it always happens to touch you. Mm-hmm. Disgusting. So you take over.
Yeah, it's hard to remember because he throws a fucking gajillion things at you within a matter of fucking half an hour. But yeah, they find the body. One of the other families, the husband, it's like a husband, his young 20-year-old wife, and his mom and their daughter. He's like a doctor, and he's starting to act aggressive towards Midsize Sedan, and he's blaming Midsize Sedans for this girl's murder that they find the body. And then tensions start running, and then they realize probably like in movie time, I don't know, it was like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something. Midsize Sedan turns around and says, "Hey, look at this, look at the body." And then we cut to the body again, and it's just her bones. And then they're kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
and then all of a sudden they have to throw in, they get less is more. The problem with this movie is they try to explain everything so hardcore.
Yeah.
And so the main girl, the one who I didn't like her accent, thought it's just very distracting. And I couldn't tell if she was not a good actress or it's just the accent not playing well. I couldn't tell. It was one of the two. And she's like, oh, based on the patina of the bones, I think this would take approximately, for 400 years.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they always got to be so on the nose with it. Based on the patina and the.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I work in a museum. I know this. You work in a museum. You're not an archaeologist. What are you talking about? You take tickets at a booth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. If anybody, yeah, I don't know. If anything, maybe the doctor, it would have made more sense if the doctor said it or something. I don't know. But then they all start freaking out, and there's this cave right there on the beach, and they all start running through the cave to escape. And every time someone goes into that cave, they make it probably like 50 steps. They start getting a headache, and then they black out, and then they end up back on the beach, and they don't know how or why. Everybody does it. They even do it in groups, and they all end up back on the beach.
Everybody's doing it. Just come on.
Everyone's doing it. Let's go.
I thought that part was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It reminded me like a Groundhog Day, like a Family Guy gag or something. You run down here and you're back over here. What the hell? Try again. So I did kind of like that. Like that was the only way out, and it just never worked. That was one of the things I liked.
And then we kind of get to what the title means, because at this point, old means nothing to us. And that is that the lead characters, the husband's name is Guy, which makes about sense because he's just a guy. And then the wife that you've referenced, the one with the accent, is Priska, and then their kids, Trent, and what's the other girl's name? Maddox. So Trent and Maddox are so after they find the dead body, Priska sends Trent away with another little girl, and they're kind of isolated for a little while, and at this point, and the next time you see them, they walk up to the group, and Trent went from a 7-year-old looking like a 7-year-old to now looking like an 11-year-old or 12-year-old. So he's aged.
Yeah. And
so has his sister Maddox. Maddox went from, I don't know how old she was in the beginning, but she's like,
I think she was 11. I think she kind of looked like 16, 17.
Yeah, 15, 16. And so this was kind of a weird part in the movie because the first people to see them are their parents. No, it's another guy. It's nurse?
The Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one guy without an accent, the Asian guy.
Yeah.
I don't know where he filmed this or what's up, but that they all have some weird accents.
But I need to go back and watch it because in my memory, like the kids, Trent and Maddox, they hang around the group for a while before the mom makes a big deal out of it. Like they make a big deal out of it in person, but then they're just hanging around. And then finally she's like, hey, doctor, look at and it's like.
She did make a deal out of it. Remember, she was like, the boy said my bathing suit hurts because his shorts are just tiny now. And she's like, kind of looks at him and she's like, she looks at him, but you don't see him as a movie watcher yet. And then she goes and tries to talk to the doctor, but I think the doctor is dealing with his mom having a heart trouble or something. Or something's going on with his group, and so he's kind of preoccupied. And she's saying, something is wrong with my children. Will you please look at them? And so she tries to bring it up, but at this point, they just grown a little bit is what they imply. But then by the time she can actually see them again, because they're dealing with all sorts of stuff, they're talking to the nurse, and the mom comes over and asks, have you seen my children? He's like, are you messing with me? Everyone's messing with me. Like, this is them, isn't it? And then, it's them. And then they're old. I thought the aging process on those kids was pretty good. Was done well. It was believable. Wasn't like, they put a mole on the young kid's cheek so that they can continue to have the mole as he gets older. And it's just a frame of reference.
Right.
And
the Maddox girl, I didn't even see the transition from 11 to whenever she was like 18 or whatever. I was like, did they switch? Because Trent, I knew, like you could see the different actors as Trent.
Yeah.
But Maddox, for some reason, that 11-year-old and the 15-year-old or however they did it, those actresses looked very similar to the point where I'm like, oh shit, like, are they going to switch actresses at some point? And I'm like, oh wait, I actually think they already did. So I give them kudos for that. At least for me, I didn't catch the switch for her. Yeah.
Then there's also another little girl that was the same age as Trent.
Oh yeah.
That starts growing up, and then they got into some weird shit right there, man. So they show her pregnant in the trailer. I was hoping it'd be another weird facet to this island, like an immaculate conception. What's going on? Now she's pregnant with this island's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But so pretty much they just imply that the 2 6-year-olds had sex. and they are little kids, but they're growing exponentially, but they still act like kids mostly the whole time because they're still kids. And then I didn't like how I thought that was just really weird and didn't add anything to the story at all. And at first when he's asking him about how did this happen, he's like, we were just playing. We didn't do anything. And then later you hear, they don't even go over it too much because there's like some dialogue in the background where it's like, yeah, that's how babies are made. Like one of the older people says, and he says, well, we only did that once. I thought you had to do that like 10 times. It's like, no, one time is all it can take. And it's like, God, this is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And off-putting and strange, and added nothing to, I guess, what this is based. I don't know if it's a book or something, like a story.
It's a graphic novel.
It's based on a graphic novel. I guess they go way more detail into the weird kid shit with hitting puberty and hormones and stuff. And so I guess maybe he just wanted to have this scene to kind of do all that in just one quick part.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because you kind of brought it up. Like they're aging rapidly. So I think that by the time they're having sex, they are 15 or however old they were. Like they're not kids trapped in a 15-year-old's body. Like they grow into a 15-year-old just rapidly. But the movie doesn't really tell you that right away. Like they get to that later. But so at this part in the movie, in my mind, like, oh, like they're still a kid, but their bodies are just growing kind of thing. So when they're having sex, I'm like, did they really? That's kind of off, like you said, off-putting. But then later on, they explain that like they are growing. They are 15 years old, and their minds are growing. Their hormones.
I don't know if they explained it away that bad, because there's lots of people, like when she's having the baby, she's like, "Mommy, I'm scared," and they're saying things that they would say at their normal age. And then, like, even when I think they get to be like 40 near the end, they'll be like, "Who would build a sandcastle?" and then the brother and sister are like, "Yeah." It's like, do you think all adults act like this, or do you think we still feel like kids because we were kids yesterday?
Yeah,
it's like, so there's very much still kid in them. So that is just off-putting and weird. And so she has that baby, and the baby lives for like 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that part was interesting, though, that the baby only lived in 60 seconds because, a baby needs constant attention. And they said it was attention deprived.
Yeah.
Because she set it down, and then the time is going so fast that a baby couldn't survive. You would have to be.
Yeah, no breastfeeding.
You'd have to be suckle sleep. Like a cartoon with this baby's.
Yeah.
Take the baby. So yeah, the baby died. And
it's a pretty chaotic scene too. I remember the camera is just kind of going all over the place. There's a lot of shit happening all at once, which is kind of well done.
Another thing I liked about this, it was beautifully shot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool
camera.
It's a lot of really cool camera work. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but there's like some swinging shots, like a pendulum.
Yeah.
Like a time shot, because it'd swing and look at one character, go across the beach, come to another character, and then it would come back, and then you'd have to notice like what had changed.
Yeah.
Like something is now they got wrinkles, now their eyes got bags.
Yeah, he does that again with I think there's a 360 shot, and it kind of goes slow. And as I think by the second time, like you described, they're already getting older. There's a lot of cool camera stuff in there.
Yeah, then they all come to realize they've all got something wrong with them, and they can't leave. I've also realized that, and they start to realize like, oh, I think it's the rocks aren't letting us leave. It's like they start coming up all this shit on their own. It's the magnetism, of course. Yeah. So, well, if we swam around this cove, I think we could make it,
And there's somebody spying on us from this ridge on top of this mountain.
Yeah.
Like these cameras, which, okay.
Yeah, the kid's like, that's a camera. I was like, how can you tell that
How do you know that?
I think I see a person. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But a camera? What kind of camera? Like a cell phone? There's a guy up there with a cell phone.
That was pretty. Hey guys. That was pretty stupid.
How you liking the beach? So they can't get out. They try. Oh yeah, and I think eventually they find this diary that has like names of all the people that have gone missing there. I really don't know how that would be there. Because now that I'm thinking about it, a diary with the names of the people in his party would make sense. Like the person, okay, these are who are here with me. But by the end of it, we realize that diary has like every person that's gone there because it's like 30 people. So I didn't understand that. Yeah. How would that happen? You just leave it there. This is the guest book sign in. You leave on the beach, and I'm going to put my name in here too.
And their addresses and phone numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also like silverware from the resort that's completely rusted and stuff. Like wouldn't happen that fast. So they start to put all these things together. That's another one of the things I didn't like is being too on the head with these guys. Like pretty much know exactly what's happening. Okay, 30 minutes is a year here. And, okay, where'd you come up with that number? What?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And they also, to add to some of the stuff they're starting to piece together, they and we, I guess, are kind of unraveling this at the same time, is that most of these people have some sort of medical condition.
Yeah, the ailment.
Mid-sized sedan, I think, had MS. The main Priska gal had a tumor. One of them has epilepsy. One we start to see have Alzheimer's, and that kind of comes in a nasty way. So they're starting to suggest that maybe they're brought there because of these ailments, because maybe that's not a coincidence that they're all there and they all have some sort of medical issue.
The doctor was like schizophrenic.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
it seemed like. It seemed like Alzheimer's because he's getting old, but.
Well, no, because he kept asking the Jack Nicholson Brando thing, and my grandma had Alzheimer's, and that's very like repeating the same thing over and over, and it's kind of like reminded me of Alzheimer's, but it could have been.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they talk about that. And it's like because he's a young guy in the beginning, and they talk about if anyone knew he could lose his license and all this stuff. I'm pretty sure that it was a mental. Whatever, it was mental. Yeah. And they talk about it later that it was mental and the rest of the people's were like physical ailments and they shouldn't have been together. But yeah. And then the MS was, I think, the girl that died in the beginning. But then Sedan had blood clot issues. That's why his nose. Oh, yeah. That's why his nose. That's right. The woman had a tumor, and that was pretty cool. The tumor grew to the size of a freaking watermelon, and they cut her open, and the wound healed so quick they couldn't get it out. So they had to cut her open again. Like, stick their fingers in there to make the wound not close. Mm-hmm. And then it seems like it's like this big. And then by the time the scene's over, they're pulling out this like,
it's like a football
watermelon thing. Yeah. That was really cool. And then she's better. And then, slowly the doctor starts going crazy and ends up stabbing mid-sized Sedan to death, which I didn't quite get why you could murder someone when these knife wounds are healing so fast, like Wolverine. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Like he's stabbing him in the chest, but I feel like as soon as you pull that out, it's like
healing. Yeah,
healed. I guess there's only so much this crazy speed can heal, though. So yeah, he kills him, and I thought that was a pretty cool part of the movie. I was like, oh, we're going down we're going down some murder shit. This is awesome. And so yeah, he starts turning, and at this point, his wife, the hot one, goes off on her own because she's starting to get ugly in her mind. Yeah. And she's got like some wrinkles and it's like, oh, poor you. Oh, go hide in a cave.
She's got like a calcium deficient situation.
Yeah.
Calcium deficiency.
And so she goes and hides. And eventually, it's kind of hard to remember the timeline, but it's just throwing these things that happen.
Yeah, basically people start, getting knocked off for different reasons.
Yeah, what was the first death? So the mom of the doctor died, and then the Asian nurse tried to swim off. I think his body comes back. Yeah. So that's second one. The black lady who had seizures and needed the medicine, that's why he tried to swim away. She died because it got escalated so much that she'd have a seizure and come out of it and have a seizure. She just kept having them because the time's moving so fast. Mm-hmm. So she just kind of seized to death on the ground. And then what else?
Cara, the other little girl who was pregnant, ended up trying to climb her way out, and then got pretty close to the top, and then she dropped.
Yeah, and then, the hot lady.
She just hides out in the cave for most of the movie, or at least the second. Yeah,
because the doctor goes to like kill the main guy, and now by this time he can't fucking see. He's going blind, and his wife's going deaf. Yeah. So they're just a really shitty pair. Like he's getting stabbed. Ow! Ah, damn!
That scene lasted way too long, dude.
Ah, damn that knife! Ah, sharp! Be careful there. And the wife's just sitting, looking the other way because she can't hear out of that ear no more.
Yeah, and then she runs off.
He's like trying to. Hey, don't you see this man is stabbing me? Who are you? He's like, he can barely see. And it's like, it's not that bad because he's just slashing him in the arm and they're just healing immediately. He's like, that's annoying. Stop. Ow. Yeah. And then, they both have to fight using her eyes and his ears. But it started pretty good. It was promising because he crawls over there like a fucking demon or something. Creepy.
Yeah, that was creepy. Yeah.
Like that part was
like a,
whoa.
Like almost like a prone military.
But it was really fast.
Yeah.
It was like some conjuring shit. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, dude. Is this going to get creepy. Good? And then it just turns into, he's stabbing me.
Dude, it lasted so long. Like, dude, fight back. Just keeps like moving backwards. I'm like, dude. I was like,
why don't you punch him or something?
Yeah, do something. And then the wife runs off and grabs him.
And then the wife, to protect him, turns him. And she's now he's stabbing me. Oh, my back is being stabbed as well. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Maybe if we just tucker him out, he'll stop. He will stop stabbing us.
Oh, God.
Please, sir. Your arm must be tired by now. It was the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
And so, and then
gets the rusty knife.
Instead of just grabbing the knife and like killing him, or because there's two of them, you could overpower him. Or just punching him or doing something physical. She leaves. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
He's still
stabbing me. Yeah, he's stabbing me still. Mm-hmm. She leaves and she goes get a rusty knife because remember, she's from the museum and she knows all about rust and patina. So this is foreshadowing again. And so she grabs it and she just stabs him once in the arm. And he looks at it. Oh, what have you done? She's like, it's rust. It acts as a poison once it enters your blood.
Oh, thank you, movie.
Thanks. I'm a doctor. I know what tetanus is.
Yeah.
And then, it just starts spreading real quick because he's getting tetanus now from the rusty stab. And tetanus is not something you want to die from, man. That's a painful, terrible death. And it happens out to him over about 60 seconds. And it's zombifying him. It looks pretty cool. That's a cool effect they did going with that. And then so he's dead. So now it's just the original two kids and mom and dad left. And mom and dad are dying on the beach of old age, and they're sitting with them until they do. Mm-hmm. That was kind of a heartwarming moment.
Yeah, it was kind of touching
when they realized, because they were there to get one last family vacation before they told the kids about the divorce.
Yeah,
and they end up not wanting a divorce because they turned 90 in a day.
It happens.
And he's like, and he's like, I forget the word for the feeling I have for you, but you know what I mean. She's like, I understand. I was like, okay.
All right. Some of this dialogue, man.
Awesome. Yeah. Rough. Pretty bad. And then so he dies of old age first and lays down. And then she gets up. I can't remember what happens to her, but I just remember thinking he just died. And then the son's like weeping over him, and she just stands up and kind of walks towards the water. So, what are you doing? And get these reactions by these people.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened. I don't remember what happened to her, but I'm pretty sure she died.
Yeah, it happens
off the end of that walk.
It's a weird camera move because the camera follows her to the water, but the camera keeps going, but she stops, and then I think we land on some waves, and then you hear more screaming, and then the camera kind of moves back, and then she's lying on the ground. So you don't really. I think she just collapsed.
She died of a broken heart.
Mm-hmm. Or whatever that word is that they can't.
Yeah, the word. I think it's love, baby. Yeah, so now it's just the two kids, and they know we don't got much time. Trent's like, "You still want to try and get out of here?" Yeah. Girl's like, "Yeah, I think probably should." Yeah. You want to build a sandcastle first?
You want to build a sandcastle?
Yep.
That was weird.
Best friends, and then they build a sandcastle, which wasted about 4 years of their life.
Yeah.
And it's just funky shit. And then somehow, we never got into how the hot lady died.
Boy, yeah.
That was a cool one because they were hiding. I was going to mention it because when the murder happened, I think, quit stabbing me. Damn. During that, the mom goes and tells the kids, go hide somewhere where no one can find you. Go do it now and don't ask me why. Mm-hmm. It's a very strange thing for you to say. I feel like there's much better ways to explain what was happening and the severity of the situation.
Or let's go help our dad.
Yeah.
All four of you can help.
Because you are in adult bodies now, and maybe you can take some of the stabbing with us, because it's a lot of stabbing that has to be taken.
It's ridiculous.
So they go and hide in a cave.
Oh yeah, forgot about this.
This part was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I liked this creepiness of this. Like they light a match because they hear something, and it's the hot old lady, and she's like, "Put that light out! Don't look at me, I'm ugly." Oh, she's like an old
she's like a
hag now. Yeah, she's like the Blair Witch when we finally saw her. She's very hairy,
almost like a shaw.
Her bikini had grown into a shaw. She knitted herself a sweater in there. But yeah, it's like the old creepy lady with a hunchback now. And he keeps lighting the match. Every time he lights the match, he gets pissed and throws a fucking rock at his head. And he's like,
there's another one. Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Quit throwing rocks. Man, my match went out. Hold on.
Oh, man.
Like, why do you need to see her, dude? You see she looks like a monster, and you see she's throwing big rocks at your head. And then she's like creeping towards him. And then finally, he's like lighting one, and you see she's got this big boulder. She's like about to crush your head in, and here you are just wanting to light your matches. And then I thought it was a pretty cool scene. She's like tries to lift it up, and one of her arms just snaps from the calcium deficiency. And then, of course, they had to explain it. She's like, her arm has already set into the wrong position. It sets and heals, and it's all fucked up. And then, and now she's pissed at them, crawling at them, and she's like breaking her arm every time she tries to crawl, and then it sets, and she breaks it, and it sets, and then by the time she gets to him, she's like got these like fucking 90 arms because they're
all tangled up. Yeah,
and then she just dies. And I thought that was like one of the most visually interesting deaths in the whole thing. And it got into some creepiness, that the movie didn't hit very often, like the creepy doctor crawl and her crawl. Oh yeah, there's both some similarities there.
Yeah, it's funny. I can be a very nitpicky, critic, I guess, if you want to call it. Because like when something on a technical level is off, it bothers me, and I fucking focus on it, and I can't. So in this scene in particular, you just said he was lighting matches. The fucking flame was digital, and it kept bothering me. So every time he lit it, I was staring at that digital, stupid little flame, and it bothered the fuck out of me. Like just use a normal match. Anyways, Just throwing out that, like, that kind of took me out of the scene, unfortunately, because I was stuck on that stupid ass flame. But yeah, visually speaking, that's definitely one of the weirdest and most interesting deaths for sure. Especially when you look at her all fucked up.
So that's the best part of the movie. That's what I really liked. I thought it was interesting and different when they're on the island and all this slow burn of strange things starts happening. I didn't like so much that they're trying to explain all of it during it, but I did like it. I enjoyed that part. That's my favorite part. It's just the straight island stuff. Kids growing old, people dying, us discovering out we all have something in common as far as our ailments. So that part was done well, I thought. And it was very interesting and different. And then we go into one of 3 different endings this fucking movie had.
Yeah.
3 endings. 3 fucking endings. And so the kid is like, I bet we could get out of here if we put ourselves in a metal tube. And the sister's like, what? You know, like when we're at the dentist and they give you an x-ray and they put the metal shit on you and you're fine. I bet we could do that. And then we'd walk out.
Where are we going to find metal? I don't know.
I don't know. It's just an idea. I don't see you coming up with one. Where'd you even come up with that? You know, because the adults said there was magnets or something on our walls. I don't know. This is so weird.
Pretty ridiculous.
And then, yeah, so then they kind of float that thought and it's, it was an idea. Whatever. Moving on. You know what? That little boy gave me I keep giving him this accent. He's funnier with this accent. Okay. That little boy gave me a note that I never decoded. We thought we were spies or something, you know? We'd write notes and stuff. I don't know why he brings that up. She's like, you should decode it. We're going to die. You just decode it. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to go grab that spy note. And he grabs it and she's like, what does it say? And he's,
oh my God.
Looks at the camera. I was like, oh, great. There's something crazy in the note. Mm-hmm. And the note says, my uncle hates coral.
Yeah,
my uncle hates like the coral. Or something, yeah.
Oh, let's go to the coral.
And so he knows something about the coral, man. He's heard it. He might not know what it does, but he's heard the adults talk about it. And he knows it's bad, man. He's putting it together like when they put together things at the end of a Scream movie. No, but they knew, man.
It's ridiculous.
And then they look out and they see the coral, and the coral is like further than anyone's ever been off the island. It seems like it's like 300, 400 yards out there in the ocean. I'm like, damn, you're going to swim out there? And they decide they want to swim to it. They don't even know. I don't even think they know what they're going to do. They're just going to swim to it. And the whole time I'm thinking, dude, coral's sharp as shit. What are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Go swim to it and hang out there? You're going to cut your feet.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
And then you can just hang out.
It's not like they know there's a fucking tunnel that goes on it.
Yeah.
Like what?
They're like, maybe time doesn't go fast on the coral. We could just hang out on the coral.
Oh, that's right. You're going to float?
I don't know. What are you going to do? This is nice. This is nice.
I'm going to stay 50 for a while.
Yeah. So they go there. They go to the coral. Oh, no, the first ending this is the first ending that I thought they were going to end it. They're sitting there just on the beach after the parents died. And I think this is maybe after the sandcastle or before it when they're sitting again. And they're just looking out onto the beach and the camera's behind them. I'm like, oh, God, no. I thought it was just going to fade to black right there. And it could have. That could have been an ending. It would have not given away a lot. So that would have been probably better. But yeah, that's the first time. But I wanted more than that. So I remember saying, don't end this fucking movie right now. Are you kidding me? At least let us watch them die. But yeah, they didn't end it. Then they come up with the stupid idea to swim to the coral. So that was the first ending. Second ending is them getting to the coral. And now there's this coral tube underwater. They don't even know. They're just swimming in. They even kind of acknowledge it. He swims in there, looks, and just sees this long ass tunnel. He looks back at her. Kind of like, you want to swim down this or what? Yeah, we might as well. And, time passes very fast. How you hold your breath that long? These guys are holding their breath hella long, like 10 years. And so they go, and she gets stuck. Of course, she gets stuck on the coral. And and then he has to swim back and help her. And then in my experience, coral is like ceramic. It could be pretty easy to break. Mm-hmm. And they're struggling. Both of them wrenching on this. Oh man, was this made of steel? and so then they kind of just pan away, and they show who was it up top with the camera? Shyamalan,
your boy M. Night Shyamalan.
Who was your boy? And he's got all this research equipment, and he's got the binoculars out. He's like, nope, they haven't come up in over a minute and a half. Obviously, time going this fast, they drowned. Mm-hmm. So he packs up all the stuff. He's like, all the subjects are dead. Bringing back the hard drives with the footage. Be there in a minute, boss. Gets in the van, drives off. That's the second ending. I totally expected it to end this time. I'm like, for sure it's done. And that's a pretty good ending too. And that's a typical Shyamalan ending. They give you a nice little, okay, there was someone there. They're part of something. And then not too much. He drives away and that's it. I probably would have been happy with that ending, happier. But then they go back to the damn resort, which is okay. I guess maybe reference the resort that they're still doing this. And it was actually the resort doing it on purpose. But yeah, we come to find out that there was a drug company mentioned earlier, a little foreshadowing. Oh, I love that drug. It helps my clients live very long. And I am a insurance person, and this is good for me. They reference that. And then, yeah, the drug company is on that island. And they've discovered that people age incredibly fast on this beach. So they test their new drugs there. And so the cocktail you get when you first arrive is a drug they're testing on you. Mm-hmm. And so, like, the black girl got the epileptic seizure drug, and they brought it to the island. And remember, he says, oh, the best thing that came out of this is we had her seizure free for 6 hours, which ended up being like 18 years or something. Yeah. And so she's like, so we cured her seizures. If she would have had more of the medicine, she never would have had a seizure again in her life. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they found out how to cure epilepsy. And then they're talking about the rapper killing, or no, the old man killing the rapper. So we weren't able to test our blood clot medicine because he got killed. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't put mental health patients with the other patients. And yeah, so basically you're in a freaking pharmacy and they're explaining the whole movie way too much. And that's the third ending. Oh, I guess there's 4 endings. They could have ended it right there. Boom.
That's what I thought. I thought that was the original ending, is they were going to end with that kind of reveal. But then we go back to keep going. But then we go back to the brother and sister in the coral tunnel that's stuck on the coral.
Yeah, so that could have ended it right there. Then we go back. No, they didn't do that first. It shows another family showing up and they're delivering them drinks.
Oh, that's right.
And you see the kid in those shorts he's had push the drinks down and break them. No, don't drink that. That's a poison. They're tricking you. And then we realize that it's them, and they're explaining to everyone there at the front. There's a lot of people what happened, and all these people are very much like, seems like they're believing it. Oh yeah, shit, dude.
Oh, they get the cop. That's right.
Yeah, you used to be a kid. Dang, dude. You're not a kid now. This is wild. This place is wild, dude. They're all like believing it. And the cop's like, yeah, look at these names. They're all missing people. Damn, something's going on here. I have no jurisdiction here, but I'm going to arrest all these people. Mm-hmm. This is international water, homeboy. What are you going to do? And then I like how the main guy, the main like villain, isn't doing much. He's like watching all this. He's like, damn it, he's ruining me. Yeah. It's like, dude, you guys are evil. Aren't you guys going to try and murder someone or cover it up? It's like, they just, oh, damn, we're caught. Damn it. So that's kind of how it ends with the cops and then the helicopter. So it could have ended with them sitting there. Could have ended with the first coral trip. Oh yeah. Then they go back and show the coral trip. Yeah. How they got out. And, after the reveal of them on the island, could have ended the first time sitting there, second time, it could have ended with the coral trip. I thought that would have been a powerful ending, just them dying and M. Night Shyamalan walking away. I didn't think we were going to get too much more of an explanation, but was I wrong? They had to expressly tell you every damn thing that happened. And so then you get the medicine reveal. That's another ending. Then you get the kids showing up. That's another ending. And then there's almost like another ending when they're in the helicopter. It's like okay, we understand that someone's probably coming to shut these guys down, and you've revealed to everybody what happened. But now they're in a helicopter, and they're like going to the beach, or at least they're looking at the beach from the helicopter that everyone died on. And then they're like, okay, we're going to bring you back to the United States. Your aunt is waiting for you. She seemed a little weirded out. And he's like, yeah, my aunt got a call from her 7-year-old nephew who's now 50 years old.
Yeah.
Probably a little weird. I looked at one review and I was like, why would they bring him to the aunt? What? That makes no sense. Because they're like fucking kids. Yesterday they were 7 and 11. They don't know how to live.
Yeah.
These poor bastards are going to die on the streets. What life skills do they have? They've only ever built a sandcastle. This kid got a girl pregnant once and their baby turned to dust.
They've had a rough fucking 24 hours. Yeah,
like,
that medicine reveal was pretty. It's like they could have just said that, like, oh, everyone stop what they're doing. Because what happens is he goes, everyone stop what they're doing, and then he tells the workers what they're there for. Which, if this is real life, they already know what they're there for and what they're doing. Like, the only reason why that scene exists is for us, which is stupid, on the nose. And then he goes on to say that, oh, well, we have a success. So you could have just started there and not been so on the nose. You could have just said, everyone stop. Hey, we got success. We cured this woman's epilepsy. And then we kind of piece it together in our minds, or at least we can talk about it after the movie, what we thought was happening. But instead, yeah, you get the on the nose thing of like why they're there and what they're doing. So that was kind of whack.
They reminded me a lot of their symbol. It was like a W. They reminded me of Weyland-Yutani.
Weyland, yeah.
It totally reminded me of like aliens of this diabolical company you think is good and they're always behind it. Yeah, anyways.
I mean, it ends with that heavy theme of, is it worth it to sacrifice one to save a million?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what the movie is. To me, what it was saying in the end is like, is it more? Yeah,
because they're saying they've saved millions of people, and I guess maybe only like 70 people have gone to the island so far, but they've saved millions of people. So is it, is it worth it? But then why are you sending kids and stuff?
Yeah, that part's pretty.
They weren't sick, because that part you obviously know they're not going to make it. So there's no justification for that part.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This movie, it sounds like we haven't actually said what we thought about it, but based on our hour-long conversation so far, to me, it was a pretty disappointing movie. I don't think it's his worst, but I do think, like, on the filmography ranking, I would definitely put it either in the lower middle. There are parts I liked about it, but overall, I was like, I don't know. I didn't think it was that good.
There are parts I loved about it. There are parts I hated about it.
Yeah.
Like that woman started to wear on me with her voice, her accent, and her acting. I was like, you always think of the future, but I'm just here in the now alone.
It felt like everyone was very deadpan and very stiff. It felt like these people haven't been acting for a while. That's kind of what, like, I don't know. It lacked a lot of emotion and I don't know. I thought every performance, with the exception of maybe the schizophrenic doctor, I think. Yeah,
I thought the doctor's performance
was pretty good.
Was actually the best.
Yeah, I think he was the best. Everyone else is really stiff.
Yeah. The kid was really good. The first kid.
Yeah.
Trent. The first Trent. I thought he was a pretty good child actor. Because obviously they're trying to show he's like autistic or something, or he's like special. He's got weird tendencies he does, and I thought that was pretty hilarious. Every time he goes up to people, hi, what's your name and your occupation?
That's pretty good.
That was pretty funny. But yeah, it's a weird thing. I really didn't know what I'm going to score. I still don't know what I'm going to score this. Jesse's like asking me when we're walking out of the theater. She hated it. She's like, that was fun.
Yeah, Sarah didn't like it.
It's like we would have wasted our time. I was like, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, I'm glad I saw it. I do think this is worth a one watch, like every Shyamalan movie is, or almost all of them. If it's a normal twist movie, if he's doing a budget freaking action movie like Airbender franchise, yeah, you don't need to see that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But his normal one twist movies, one and done, joins those ranks. I think you need to see it. It's fun for a one time. Love it or hate it. I mean, if you hate it, it's something fun to rip on. If you like it, then obviously it wasn't a waste of time at all, was it? So I do recommend people see it. It's not bad enough that I would say don't go see it. But for me, loving very little of it and being disappointed by quite a lot of it, but at the same time, not hating any part of it really. Damn, it's tough. 5 point.
Don't steal my shit.
5.6. Slightly above a mediocre 5. I wanted to get it closer to a 6 to show I do like parts of it. And it's not a terrible movie. It's just there. This is so run of the mill. I couldn't justify giving it more than into the 6s, but I couldn't justify giving it a 4 either. That's like,
yeah, I don't think it's
better than a 4. It's not like 4s to me. That's like, you're not going to that at all.
Yeah.
A 5 you might go see. Why not? If you got a free time and you're familiar with M. Night Shyamalan, you're like, yeah, I could go for a weird M. Night Shyamalan night.
Yeah, my score was 5.5, so it's just a point lower than yours. So it seems like we're. I mean, that seems to be the case. Like I looked up the Rotten Tomatoes, and it's about a 50. It's like, so this is one of those movies that you're either going to enjoy it, you're going to have a blast with it and have fun with it, or you're going to be like, eh. And we seem to be on that eh side. I feel like, this story on paper is actually a really fascinating, interesting story. I like the story, on paper. I just don't think it was executed that well. But I'm wondering if maybe, because the graphic novel is only like 100 pages. So I'm like, why didn't this should have been like a Twilight Zone episode? This is what it kind of feels like. It feels like a Twilight Zone hour-long episode. And I'm wondering, like, man, Shyamalan should definitely hook up with Netflix and do like some sort of like anthology, Twilight Zone type of show. Because I feel like this story would have fit better in an hour-long slot than it was with an hour and 40 minutes where you're trying to fucking stuff it with bullshit. So yeah, but in terms of what we got, I got to review what we were given. I just think that the acting was stiff. The movie, while I understand that time is moving fast and it's very chaotic, even though he's trying to go for that, I felt like it didn't work as a movie because like when you start throwing things over like quickly at you over and over and you don't give these scenes time to breathe, I start to not give a shit. Like we talked about 3 deaths. We started going through all the deaths. There's the part where the daughter finds the Asian swimmer, the nurse, in the water dead. They take him back to the beach, and then within 30 seconds, the other little girl starts climbing the wall, and then she dies. And then within like a couple more minutes, the black gal has a seizure. And I'm just like, none of these scenes, none of these deaths have any weight, or they don't spend any time like, grieving this. But like, and I get go, baby. Time's moving fast, but it's like, as a movie, you need time for that shit so that we care. And when you start just throwing shit at me, I just start not giving a fuck. And that's kind of how I felt most of this movie, where like there's cool ideas, cool scenes. The tumor extraction was cool idea and kind of cool visually. There's cool stuff in it, but like overall, the characters I didn't give a fuck about because he didn't spend time, doing anything with them really. And then, he just throws too much at us. And so for that reason, I just think that it's an okay movie. It could have been better.
Yeah. All those things. And the less is more. Like I wouldn't like to know less. I guess the book is way less. Like I guess he explained away from what I've read. It explains it all. Obviously he does, but I guess in the graphic novel, they don't. And that's probably for the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe better suited for some television stuff now. I'm disappointed because I was hoping it was going to be a cool return to form for Shyamalan. I think other people were hoping so too.
Yeah, he was on. I was telling you, he was on a pretty good track record, as far as I'm concerned. Like in 2016, I believe he came out with a found footage movie called The Visit, which I enjoyed. I didn't think it was like fucking great, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And then he follows that up with, I don't think like 2017, 2018 with a movie called Split, which I enjoyed. Was good. I think that the ending of Split is probably the best magic trick he's ever pulled, in my opinion. Like I remember being in the theater, like clapping, like, oh my God. And everyone around me was like, why is this guy freaking out? And I'm like, you motherfuckers, you need to watch another movie. That you know, so I think that was really cool. His biggest magic trick that no one saw coming.
And so then it made you look forward to Glass. And
I never saw Glass. I need to watch Glass, but
it's pretty disappointing.
Fuck.
Pretty disappointing. And then, you got to watch it. So I don't want to spoil it, but there's something that happens in there that is just, it's a travesty to these characters. What happens.
That sucks. But yeah, so in my mind, without seeing Glass, I mean, the reason why I didn't see Glass is basically what you just said. I just heard it didn't get received very well, so I kind of just stayed away from it. So where I was coming out with Old is like, I like to visit. I like Split. He's starting to kind of ramp up a little bit. Maybe Old will be returned to form. And I mean, unfortunately, it was pretty run of the mill.
I was looking forward to it. I went and spent $51 to go see it.
Yeah,
first time in the theater since freaking Us, bro. Long ass time. And from the trailer, I go.
I want to give you so much shit for that, but maybe I'll do it off camera.
Obviously, $51. I just wait till the 4K Blu-ray comes out. I buy it day one. It only costs me like $25, $27, and then I own it forever. And that's how my movie collection's fucking huge now too. So
yeah, I would recommend. Okay. To be fair, to your point, I would recommend you doing that for this movie, right? The reason why I'm giving you shit is because your priorities are fucked. Because you said the last time you saw a movie in theaters was Jordan Peele's second movie called Us. So you wanted to go see that in theaters, but you didn't see like the follow-up to Avengers, and like you didn't see a new Tarantino movie. No. You didn't see a Spider-Man. Like Jordan Peele's got you in theater, but the Avengers and Tarantino didn't. Like
because I was on a thriller horror kick, and he had just won an Oscar, his first movie. So all the eyes were on him for his second movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
So I didn't think Us was that great. I like to Get Out better. Hopefully this Nope thing, we'll see what that's about. That's cool that he's teaming back up with Ahuluye or whatever the heck. Now that they both have an Oscar.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. And it's got that dude from The Walking Dead. I like that guy, the freaking Asian guy.
Stephen Yeun.
Name. Yes, Yoon. But anyways, 5.5, 5.6. Go check it out. It's worth a watch. See what you think. Don't take our word for it. We're like reading Rainbow. You got to read the book afterwards. You got to watch the movie afterwards. Don't take our words for it.
Yeah, I would say watch it, but in my opinion, don't see it. I would say watch it. Wait till it comes out on Netflix or that's my opinion. I don't think it's worth going to the theaters, let alone spending $50. I feel bad that you got duped into doing that. But
but it was fun. It was like a fun return. I'm not disappointed with spending that money. It's just I wish it would have been a better movie for that much money.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, if you're going into a matinee and it's like $8. One ticket and you're not buying any food or anything.
Yeah, I guess
$8 is a good price for this.
Yeah,
maybe go to an early showing and eat before you go. Okay, and then you'll be fine. So yeah, that's that. When you were talking about Twilight Zone, that's on Paramount Plus. So I know you got. I'm pretty sure it is. I think that's where I watched it, and I started watching some of that new show, the one with Jordan Peele, like producing. That shit's good. I like that. Have you seen any of that yet?
No, that's kind of one of those things I stayed away from. I got pretty mixed reviews out the gate. Maybe I mean it's anthology, so it's like you're gonna have a hit and miss.
Yeah, it's just like the Outer Limits. There's some fucking shitty ones, but there's some awesome ones buried in there, dude. Like that other one that's kind of like it's on Netflix. Black Mirror.
Oh yeah.
Like that. There's some golden ones in there. There was a really good one on the Twilight Zone where this guy is on a plane and he finds a MP3 player and has a podcast, and it's about the plane he's on going down. It's like a news story. It's like flight whatever, and he'll look up and it'll say that. And they had turbulence around 10 a.m. According to the flight box, and then he looks up. 10 a.m. The plane starts shaking. I was like, "This is pretty cool." So he's intently listening to this, trying to stop it from happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. Check it out. I think there's some good ones in there. But anyways, y'all, thanks for joining us. Old, what'd you think? We didn't give a terrible review. 5. We've definitely done worse movies on this podcast, that's for sure. Now I kind of wish we would have just done the Fear Street, because have you seen 2 and 3 of Fear Street?
I haven't got around to watching those. No, I have not. But I hear good things.
Okay.
I hear it's pretty solid, like the first one was.
2 and 3 are very good. I think we should probably get back to those.
Yeah.
And do one. 3 especially has a really cool ending. I enjoyed. So yeah, but this is a 5.5, 5.6. Thanks for joining us. Please, as always, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, get your dog a YouTube subscription, and check us out, like and subscribe. We appreciate it. You know what pisses me off? I tried to watch one of our videos the other day, and it put an ad. I put like 3 ads in front of it. I was like, and I've never had an ad on our videos. Like, stop me from watching our videos. And I was like, what are you doing?
We should be getting paid for that.
Yeah, I was like, don't you dare put an ad on my video.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
I ain't getting no pennies for this.
That shouldn't be happening, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was very strange. It's never happened since. And I didn't imagine it. I was going into one of our videos and I had to skip ads. And I was like, what? Why is it doing this?
Could have been a fluke. Because, yeah, we should be getting paid for that.
Yeah, you're freaking... We want all 3 of your subs. All of them. All right, guys. Yeah. Enjoy. I don't know the next time I want to do this. Ghostbusters. If Ghostbusters does this to me in the theater, I'm done with the theater forever. Fuckers. But anyways, y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace.